Oh, hello. And ho ho ho. Hang on, let's get this right. Ho ho ho, and welcome to the Occam's Razor Christmas special. Now, I just want to do a very quick end of year update on what Mars One has been doing. Well, certainly the impression I get of what Mars One is doing from the publicly available updates. Sorry if the camera's wobbling a bit. You know, it's I'm holding it. It's not set up on a tripod or anything. Well, there we go. I don't think I left anything out. If you think I did, maybe you could just leave a comment below and maybe a link to whatever they've been up to so I can have a look at it. The only thing I've seen recently is I think the Neil deGrasse Tyson. There was about a two and a bit minute thing. I don't know how long the whole interview was, but I saw that 2.5 minute clip. And as usual, it wasn't terribly impressive. I think I would have to agree with the journalist that it was very much a softball interview. There was I think he mentioned that Baz mentioned the 200,000 applicants, and you know, again, he's still spruiking this. And the world and his dog know that there were only a few thousand applicants. And deGrasse Tyson didn't question him on that one, and I think he felt obliged to work in a couple of things that, you know, he made fun of Mars One in the past with the colonists, you know, being able to breathe the air and, you know, burn wood and stuff like that. And I think he worked in that sort of joke, materially joked about, into the questioning. But it was a very softball interview. I was looking at, in fact, I'll post a link to it below. I was looking at a Ryan video, and Ryan was talking about this applications business, and he actually he said himself he's just paid £150 to apply to Cambridge and Oxford, and I think he said actually Oxford and Cambridge universities for his PhD astrophysics courses. Now, I wonder if those universities would have considered Ryan an applicant if he had not paid those application fees. I suspect they wouldn't. And I think that if I wanted to prove I was an applicant for something, doesn't matter what it is, if that something has an application fee, and I stood in a court of law and said, you know, I'm an applicant for this, whatever it happens to be, the defence lawyer is going to say, and of course, Mr. Razor, you paid the application fee. And I would say, well, actually, no, I didn't. And that would be it. Case closed. Next caller, please. You know, in a court of law, there's an application fee involved. You don't pay the fee, you are not an applicant. It's black and white. It's as simple as that. It doesn't get more complicated than that. It's not a case of completed applications or anything else. If there's an application fee, that application fee wasn't paid, you're not an applicant. And I think they've said that 4,000-ish people paid the application fee. So, you know, there was around 4,000 applicants, and yet he's still spruiking this 200,000 applicant nonsense. That, I think, in itself sticks up a huge red flag. Arno was saying recently that solar power is always available on Mars. This is giving the impression that it's very easy to power the colony with solar panels. You know, stick a few solar panels on the ground, away you go, no problem. Nothing could be further from the truth. Very, very difficult to program, to power rather, large power consuming equipment from solar power. Ryan said that he calculated the amount of sunlight that falls onto the Martian surface, and being an astrophysicist. But what he certainly didn't take into account is that very, very large solar arrays can have their output significantly compromised by having very small percentages of that array obscured, depending on how it's designed. But you could have a huge array and you could have a very small part of it obscured, say with dust from dust storms, and the output would be significantly compromised. So you need to take that into account, and you also need to take into account night time. So where's the solar power coming from during the night, and to run the huge power load that the life support system requires. You might want to put a kettle on, you might want some heating as well. You're talking about, I think Ryan mentioned a battery backup. Well, I think I looked at this some time ago, and there was just a quick look at it showed that the mass of the battery backup would be about 300 tons. So something capable of running that for 6 months with through a dust storm or something like that. It's just completely impractical. And I saw on that Neil deGrasse Tyson article that I didn't see it in the interview, and I couldn't actually find it anywhere other than this caption that was under the video, and it said that Baz Lansdorp said they'll be able to land 3,000 tons on Mars. Now, as NASA can only land a ton on Mars now, Mars 1 being able to land 3,000 tons, yeah. Very easy. Science fiction's very easy. You can solve any problem in science fiction with one line of text. That's the bottom line here. It's science fiction. And when I saw that 3,000 tons, it made me think. I thought, I wonder if Baz saw my comment, post, whatever it was. I can't even remember where I put it now. It might have been on Ryan's program channel. That he'd need about 300 tons of batteries, and he said, "Wow, we could do 10 times that." It's just fantasy, really. It's just absolute fantasy. So solar power for a Martian colony? No. 200,000 applicants? No. I tried to find the video that deals with the delivery van today. It's Sunday. I tried to find the video that deals with I've lost track now. It deals with what was it I was going to say. Oh yeah, Ryan said on one of his videos that funding for the entire mission had been secured, and I've tried to find that and I can't find it. Now, I did find one video where he's talking about funding, and there's a very bad edit in it. There's quite a significant graunch in you can see where it's obviously been edited. And I wonder if that was the one, because generally Ryan's videos are pretty good, and that was a pretty shabby bit of editing. So maybe if you watch this video, Ryan, you could maybe leave a link to the video of yours where you mention that the full funding was secured, or maybe confirm that that was edited out, maybe. So, as far as Mars 1 goes, I said it would have folded up by Christmas this year. I've seen no evidence really to say that suggests that it's still running. I mean, the website's still there, but then it's only ever been a website. Baz is probably still spending the I'm holding the camera so I can't do the quote marks, but the investors' money going around spruiking this stuff. But the astronaut selection's been put off. The book, of course, you can still pre-order the book. It doesn't exist, but you can still buy it from Amazon, and that's going to be released on the 23rd of February 2016. That'll be interesting to see if that happens. I think this will probably all come to a head. If it lasts long enough, it will come to a head in September 2016, when all the devout acolytes are waiting for the candidates that are going to get through to the final 24 are going to be announced, because I think that's not going to happen. It can't happen. So what happens then? Is he going to say, well, it's going to be 2017, And even the devoutest of acolytes is not going to fall for that. I'm surprised that they're soaking up this nonsense as it is, let alone with all these delays and all these things that are going to happen. Of course, that never happen. The media deal's always round the corner. Never happens. There's a bit of a tickle with the media deal, falls in a heap. The investment deal, Ryan's spoken about that a few times. Yeah, we're going to get the money in summer. We're going to get the money in winter. Never happens. The SSTL conceptual design study for the communication system was never made public. They said they were going to do that, I believe. The Paragon study doesn't actually put to rest any of the concerns with regard to the project. What that says, the bottom line with that report is that the system is going to require spares from Earth. Self-sufficient colonies out of the question. So it's going to require consumables. It cannot be done without spares from Earth. So it can't be done. It's not going to be a self-supporting Mars colony, is it? And I think that's why that was sat on for 18 months. The whole thing is decidedly, I think personally, decidedly dodgy. But there we go. You may say you're a cynic, Razor. I think of myself more as a realist, as you can probably see. I've got some grey hair. I've been around a while. I've seen how a lot of these things work. Now, there was something else I was going to say. What the hell was that? I don't have a script here. I just fired up the camera. It's a beautiful day here in Western Australia. Must be 35 degrees. Not a cloud in the sky. I just thought, well, I'll take the camera out in the garden and maybe do a quick video, because it's a very nice day to sit in the garden, that's for sure. The only thing that Australia does have that Mars doesn't, that I think is an advantage for Mars, and that is mosquitoes. I haven't put the air guard on, so being Australia, there are 1 or 2 mosquitoes around. Going off on a tangent here. Mars 1. There was something else I was going to say about Mars 1. What the hell was that? Mentioned the book, the applicants. There was another video of Ryan's that I saved a link to, and I can't remember why, but I'll put that down below as well. I'll put a link to him talking about the application fee, and I'll put a link to the other video, and I'll just put a little note by it as to what that was for. But that was this morning. I mean, it's now 1:30 in the afternoon, so a few hours have passed since I looked at it. Now, was there something else? Oh yeah, that was the other video. It was done in April the 28th. Ryan put a video up saying that Mr. Von Bengston was feverishly beavering away designing the habitat and this, that and the other, when actually Mr. Von Bengston had left Mars 1 back in January. And Mars 1 hadn't even told the devoutest of acolytes. So Ryan was completely unaware, 4 months, nearly 5 months after Mr. Von Bengston had actually left the project. Ryan is on there telling us all what he's doing on the project. So, that's another thing that sticks up a huge red flag, I think. Was there something else? I just noticed I look a lot like, if you watch The Simpsons, I look a lot like Flanders' grandfather. No, I think that's pretty much it. I think I'll wrap it up. As I say, it's Western Australia. Not a cloud in the sky. Absolutely beautiful. I couldn't imagine giving this up to go and live in a tin can on a frozen ball. But anyway, what am I doing? Starting to think about this as though it's real. Get a grip, Razor. Get a grip. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody, and all the very best for the new year. And maybe I'll catch you. Maybe I'll catch you next year. Maybe the novelty would have worn off altogether. Completely. Altogether or completely. I think they would both have the same effect. Maybe I'll catch you next year. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do a video if it does all fall into a heap. In fact, I probably would under those circumstances, unless of course I'm gone off and I'm doing something interesting that's completely made me forget about it. And you see people wearing hats with corks in Australia, you know, on television. And you see, I've lived in Australia for 20 years. I have never ever seen anybody wearing a hat with corks on strings round it. Not once. They're only ever sold to bloody tourists. And you know, I've been thinking about getting one because you know, you can see me doing this, and you see any video footage from Australia. Often people are doing this. The more seasoned will just let the flies settle and walk on their face. Certainly when I used to work up north in the fly season, I did that until I got myself a fly net, but sort of initially I just let them settle, because doing this they just settle again, so you can, you know, twice the two or three times the sensation of them landing on my face. Okay, well there we go. This is quite a nice hat for Australia. It's a light colour, so it reflects the sunlight, and of course makes me look really quite dapper. So, Merry Christmas, have fun everyone, Happy New Year, all the best. Maybe I'll catch you around. And I'm looking slightly that way because that's where the viewfinder is.